What's going on? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics, and up next I have got this big stack of raw books here, as well as this box. And it's just one box, but there are 3 graded books in here, and they are all pretty incredible. And one of these raw books is a major Golden Age first appearance, so let's check out these books. All right, so before we get started, please remember to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. So like I said, I have got some awesome comics to talk about today. Some really cool stuff. I'm going to show the interior of a couple of these because they're just, it's pretty awesome books. So we've got these graded books here. I'm going to open those at the end. Stick around for that because these are pretty incredible. But let's talk about these raw books first. Now, before we get into these, there are at least 1, maybe 2 that I'm going to be sending off to get pressed and cleaned and graded. So first, we need to talk about the sponsor of this video, the comic book presser. If you've watched my CGC unboxings on this channel, almost all of those books were pressed and cleaned by the comic book presser before getting graded by CGC. He does incredible work on all kinds of books. I've had him press Golden Age books from 1940 all the way up to moderns from 2020, Silver Age magazines, and everything in between. He has very reasonable prices and is also a CGC certified dealer and will pass his savings on to you if you have him submit your books through him. If you're looking to get some books pressed and clean, make sure to check him out on Instagram and through his website. His contact information is in the details of this video. All right, we're back, and I actually have a number of books that are going to be coming back as well really soon. One that's actually in the mail right now that I sent off to the comic book presser. He sent to CGC for me, and so I'm really excited to get those back. So we'll be opening those soon. We'll see how all of those books did, because with those, I do not check the grades, and so we get to learn what I got back on those all together. Now, there's some cool books in this one. I'm not sure where to start. I think maybe this is one that I just picked up. I thought it was pretty interesting. I thought I'd maybe show the interior a little bit. It is a really rare book. This is what's called the Archie, and then it's Your Official Store Club magazine. So it's the Archie, Your Official Store Club magazine. It is very small. You can see this is inside a normal comic bag and board, and it is much smaller than that. And the interior is actually a little different too. It's not like normal pages, and I believe there is only 1 other copy of this on the census. This is the 1949 version. There's a 48 and a 49. I don't know if there are some others as well, but it's only a few pages. It's not very big. You can see how thin this is. Unfortunately, on the back, whoever was the original owner, they decided they didn't want you to know their name. They scratched it out, but it's in relatively decent condition. It could use just like a light press though. You can see it's got some bends and things on the spine. So this is one that I am planning on getting this one graded. So this one is going to be going to the comic book presser, but you can see the interior. I don't know if they give it orange pages or how they do that, but it actually does have some, a lot of different stories and little bits of art and everything that are inside of it. I think I checked and there was one full, I can't remember if there's one full comic strip or not in here. Yeah, not a full comic strip, but just a number of little, stories and, all the different characters from Archie that are in there. But yeah, I just thought this one was really cool. I hadn't ever seen it before, and given the fact that there was only 1 other copy on the census, I feel like it's not one that you do get to see very often. And I like picking up these early Archie collectibles, especially from like the 40s and into the World War II era. So a cool one that just thought it was fun to pick up. Now this next one, for a lot of us, I feel like this ties to what a lot of us watched when we were kids, growing up watching some cartoons. This is Dell Giant number 48. So you've got the little, the 48 right here. This is the first appearance of the Flintstones in comics. I've never actually owned a copy of this one. This thing is huge. I don't know if you can tell there. It is 84 pages. And yes, I counted all the pages. All the pages were there. I was glad I didn't miss something on the first one and had to recount it. But yeah, it's 84 pages. It's a glued spine. Because yeah, this thing is massive. And it's all Flintstones inside. So, this was definitely a pretty good bang for your buck back in the time when it came out. 25 cents, and you got a lot of stories about the Flintstones. So yeah, first appearance of the Flintstones in comics. Thought that one was pretty cool. Then next, I want to show the interior of this. If you follow me on Instagram, I showed the interior splash page. That's at the centerfold of this book, and I'm going to show it here as well. This is Wonder Comics number 14. This is an Alex Schomburg airbrush cover. He did a number of these covers from this run, as well as from things like Exciting Comics, Startling Comics. He did a lot of these airbrush covers during this time period. I believe this is late 40s. And there is an awesome interior splash page in this one. So I just thought I would show it real quick. And because I know when I got this book in, I was flipping through, doing the page count, and I saw that interior splash page. And so I posted it on Instagram. So, go follow me on Instagram if you don't. I post stuff over there regularly. But yeah, here's this. It's 2 pages. But yeah, it's one of these, the character's the Grim Reaper. He's actually one of the heroes during this time period. And there's so many heroes that are from Better Publications, which is who did these, that they look like villains, and he's one of them. But yeah, this is 1947, so yeah, late 40s. And this is the the Golden Age Wonder Man, as you can see from there, the opening splash page. But yeah, I thought that Grim Reaper centerfold, 2-page splash page was just really cool. So thought I'd show that one, just because sometimes when you're flipping through these, some of the art just really jumps out at you, and that was definitely one of the ones that I just felt was cool to show. So yeah, so Wonder Comics number 14, just a Alex Schomburg artwork now, or Alex Schomburg cover. Now he signed this one actually Schomburg. A lot of the ones that he did during this period, he started signing them Zella or Xela, Alex backwards, but this one is actually Schomburg. All right, now the next one, this is just, this is from a run that I really like. This is Marvel Mystery Comics number 89. And you've got the blonde Phantom on the cover, you've got the Human Torch on the cover, and he is fighting somebody that's just shooting asbestos at him. Just probably not great to, he's an android, so it's not a real big deal probably for him, but asbestos is never going to be, great to be shooting around. But yeah, Marvel Mystery number 89, just a very solid presenting copy of this. These are not Schomburg covers at this point, but they're still pretty cool. This is late in the run. This is really late in the run for Marvel Mystery Comics. I think this might be like 1949. We can check real quick. I think this is 49, but we'll see. Nope, December of 48. So it's pretty close. So there's the opening page, and yeah, you can see down in the indicia there that this was December of 1948. But yeah, just a pretty solid presenting copy. And I always like picking up these Marvel Mystery Comics whenever I see them. They're just, you don't come across them all that often. They're relatively uncommon, and they have some really popular characters in them, like Human Torch. And during this era, Blonde Phantom was also a very popular character. All right, now I'll save this one for the end before I go into the slabs. The next one, I've actually had another copy of this recently that I had picked up from Alex the Comic Hoarder. I have sold that copy now, but this is another one, a slightly better grade. This one is probably about a 3.0. It has this chip up in the corner here, but otherwise a very solid presenting copy. Actually, I think I thought maybe even a little better. I think I had it as maybe like a 3.5 to a 4 is when I was going through and grading these. But yeah, it's this another one of these characters where you've got this guy named the Black Terror, and he looks like a villain. He's dressed all in black. He's got the skull and crossbones on his chest, but he is one of the heroes from Better Publications, same publisher that did the Wonder Comics. But he is punching, a Nazi on the cover there, who's got a flamethrower, who's burning, everything, the ammunition that's on this boat. And then you have his sidekick in the back that I can't remember his sidekick's name, but he's out there helping, putting out the fire. But yeah, Black Terror, number 10, World War II, and this is a Schomburg cover as well. So, cool one. All right, now, the next one, and I know some people, they get, they don't like overuse of the word Grail, that kind of thing. But, to me, I've been getting in some books that I would classify as that. When you're talking about major first appearances, you're talking about rare books. To me, that is what you would classify as a Grail, and that is what this one is. This is World's Finest number 3. Now, if you are not familiar with this book, because it's kind of an unassuming cover, you know, you've got Batman and Superman and Robin on the cover playing baseball. But what this is this is the first appearance of the Scarecrow. So major Batman villain. And he only has 2 appearances in the Golden Age. It's this one and Detective Comics 73. I believe that's the other one where he's on the cover. But in this one, he is in the final story in this, which I will open up and I'll show you that opening splash. Because this book, if the splash from that first appearance was actually the cover for this book, I guarantee you this book would sell for probably 5 to 10 times as much. It is an amazing splash page, but you know, it's unfortunate that he isn't on the cover, but that was pretty common in that era. And I've had some people ask about that, why you don't often see those first appearances in the Golden Age on the cover. And it's because the mentality in the Golden Age was that you put the established characters on the cover. You put the characters that are going to get people to go, oh yeah, I know them, I want to buy that, not some new character that they're not familiar with. And so that's why having that first appearance on the cover is actually pretty rare or uncommon in the Golden Age. But this one, you'll notice there's some, you know, stuff going on this, and that's because this is actually what's called a married cover. And so that means that this cover is from a different copy of World's Finest number 3. So it is a complete copy. I went through, I counted all the pages, all of that, everything is there. It's just that this cover is from a different copy of this book. And it's also possible that it was trimmed, but it's really hard to tell because you could have very different cuts on different copies of this book, where this maybe is the right size cover for another copy, the original copy it was with, but on this one, this, you know, maybe the pages were cut a little different on this one, and so it looks like it's shorter. It's hard to tell. I don't know for sure. It doesn't have like a, you know, like a wonky cut, like somebody like took scissors to it or anything, so I can't say for sure. But this is a married cover copy. The cover is also detached, which makes handling the interior pages pretty easy. So here you can see this is that cover. Here's the back cover, and yeah, so that's just the cover of it. And then now we've got the interior here. So this is where we've got that Scarecrow story, and so this is actually, it's the last story in the book, and so it's actually, this last page is the last page of that Scarecrow story. You can see him on there, but the opening panel for that story is really good. It would have been awesome if that was actually the cover. So here's that opening panel. If you saw the short that I did here on YouTube, I showed this in one of these shorts, but that would have been such an amazing cover. Having that menacing Scarecrow on there under Batman and Robin like that, I mean, oh, it would have been such a great cover. But this is that opening, that first appearance of the character, and I believe it's like 12 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it's a 13-page, like when you talk about each side, story. So that's a really significant story for that character in this World's Finest Comics number 3. So I'm gonna put this one away, and then we are gonna get into that box there that has some pretty awesome slab books in it.
A few moments later.
All right, so it's all put away, and just in case you're wondering what type of label this one would get, so normally if it was just a married cover, it would get a green label. If it is trimmed, a trimmed would be purple, but when you have married and trimmed, I believe it gets a green label. So it would be a green label, but on the label it would say married cover and trimmed right edge, or something like that, if that's what it actually was. I haven't decided if I'm going to get this one graded or not. Maybe not. But yeah, just it's a nice presenting copy, and just a pretty cool book. I mean, first appearance of the Scarecrow, major Batman villain. All right, speaking of Batman, there's some awesome Batman books that are in this box right here, and I have been waiting to open these. They've been, you know, sitting here for a little while. These were, so I've got to actually, I'd say I've got to thank AA Comics. So Aaron over at AA Comics, if you aren't following him on Instagram or on YouTube, make sure you go and subscribe to his YouTube channel. Go follow him on Instagram. This is when I was on vacation, you know, and I just never took a break from buying comics. He messaged me this post and it was for a number of Batman books that were for sale. And I just went and took a look. You know, I wasn't initially planning on picking anything up, but I went through all the books and found some that, you know, I thought seemed like they were pretty good prices, and decided to pick them up. So there's 3 slabbed Batman books that are in here. So let's get these guys out.
2,000 years later.
All right, so we have got these 3 books out. Everything is what I expected it to be. They look great. So let's go through these. These are all pretty nice grades for early Batman, for Golden Age Batman. This first one here is Batman number 84 in a 7.0. This would be kind of like a Good Girl Art type cover, and as well as a Catwoman cover. And so this book is pretty difficult to get in a nice grade. Usually when I see this book, it's in kind of like the low grades, maybe a mid grade, but a 7.0 is a very, very nice grade for this one. And so Batman number 84 from 1954, 7.0 Catwoman cover. Just a tough book in grade. And so there's the back cover, see here. And this is definitely one of these older slabs. If you're not familiar with these older slabs, this is, you know, why you have like a little bit different number here, the way the number looks, and, you know, it's a much thinner case than the current slabs. And I'll definitely take a close look at these, because a lot of times with a book like this, you know, maybe it wasn't pressed, you know, who knows, and, you know, maybe it has an opportunity to get a you know, a higher grade, but I'll take a look at that, you know, after. All right, so that's the first one. The next one, see, I've got a lot of the villains covered here. This next one, this is, we're getting a little bit earlier. This is Batman number 58. Great Penguin cover. I have always really liked this cover. It reminds me a lot of Detective Comics 142, the second Riddler cover, just with how it has like the imagery that's on the cover here. But this is pretty cool. You got the penguin, you've got all these, you know, different birds, you know, because he's a penguin on the cover, and just another great grade. I mean, a 7.5. Again, one of these older cases. I think the other one is older than this style, but they're probably about the same time. This one's a little bit thicker, but yeah, there's the back. Surprising, an advertisement for a shoe. Usually it's advertisements for BB guns, but advertisement for a shoe. And definitely another one that, I mean, I'll take a close look at it to see if I think there's any opportunities that this could maybe bump up to a higher grade, because this is, you know, a little bit older slab. It looks nice, but I'm always nervous about staples and dealing with, you know, higher grade Golden Age books like this. I mean, whenever you're taking a book out, you are always taking a risk. You know, something could happen just in cracking the book out, cutting it out. There's always risk when it comes to regrading and pressing and more handling of the books. And so just something I always think about if I would want to try to, you know, go for a higher grade with this. But yeah, 7.5, great Penguin cover, Batman number 58 from 1950. All right, now, if we're talking about the villains, couldn't do this without having a Joker cover. And this is one, I've never owned this one. I've always been on the lookout for this one because I think it's such a cool cover. This is Batman number 73 in a 6.0. And so what this is this is the Joker utility belt. And so yeah, you've got, you know, it's basically like Batman's utility belt, but it's with the Joker, and he's got all his, you know, little Joker faces and things jumping out of it. But yeah, a 6.0, again, a really nice grade for this one from 1952. And yeah, just one of these classic Golden Age yellow covers. And let's see, oh, still no BB guns here, but you know, Tootsie Rolls and bikes and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that was the third big Batman book that I picked up here. You know, all really nice grade copies. This one is definitely in a newer slab. I mean, this is not brand new because it doesn't have the QR code, but this is the current style of the CGC slabs. And I always like how these Golden Age books look in these, how they pretty much fill up the entire space of the slab. I think they always look really sharp. So yeah, Batman number 73, 6.0, cool Joker cover. So hope you enjoyed this video. Saw some, some cool books. Remember, if you want to get your books pressed and clean, get them graded, all that kind of stuff, make sure to go check out The Comic Book Presser. His contact information, his website, and his IG handle will be in the description to this video. If you'd like to watch some more of my videos, I've got videos over here. The subscription button should be right around here, and I will see you in the next video.